Hi, here we are. Last essay of the semester. Very quick, short semester. The last paper assignment is called the proposal paper. So I call it proposal policy because, of course, in our class we've also done those little proposals where you're proposing to me your topic. So I also write policy because that's kind of how I think of this essay. It's really what I call the policy essay. Your editors use a different term, and everything's an argument. The proposal policy argument essay is be a minimum of 2,000 words. Okay, so we up the ante here, right? We've got 2,000 words now. And trust me, you're going to need all those words and then some to do this assignment, in which you present and support an argument and proposal as defined in Everything's an Argument, Chapter 12. Now, I have a video in which I talk about this, okay? And I really want you to watch it because this proposal paper is not an ordinary paper. Your essay must cite a minimum of 10 outside sources, okay? 8 of which originate in print or have print analogs. So again, we're talking about books, magazines, journals, newspapers, government documents, pamphlets, things of that nature. Now, 4 of those should be at least from scholarly sources like dissertations, academic journals, or university press books. The sources must be presented in correct MLA fashion with both parenthetical in-text documentation and a works cited page. Dictionaries, encyclopedias, and other general reference works do not count as sources. Okay, so again, I'm not saying you can't use them, right? I'm just saying they're not going to count towards your 10 sources. Also, your essay must start with an abstract, which should run about 100 to 200 words. And the abstract does count towards your total word count. Okay, so you can already see how we're going to get to 2,000 very easily. What's an abstract? An abstract is a summary of your essay. In fact, if you've been looking at academic journal articles, they almost always have an abstract at the beginning. That's a summary of the article so that you don't have to read the whole article to know what's in the article. Okay, it's to help people who are doing research to more quickly go through and find sources that will be helpful and stay away from the sources that are not. So in this assignment, you get to actually write your own abstract. Now, just as a bit of advice from your instructor, I wouldn't worry about writing the abstract until your essay is pretty much close to being done, okay? Because you don't know what you're going to say in the abstract until you know what you've said in your essay. The topic will be a topic of your own choosing, as always. And again, as always, there are a few topics that are off limits: abortion, death penalty, child abuse, and religion. Certainly, there are many other topics to choose from. You must provide a word count of your essay at the end of the text, covering only the actual text. Again, don't count any tables or charts or diagrams that you may have. Now, the essay will be divided into 3 major sections. There's a problem section, the solution section, and the benefits section, as discussed in this video. Okay, so it's really important that you look at the sample proposal policy essay video. Okay, you'll see how the essay is broken down. You're going to have an introduction, you're going to have a concession, you're going to have a problem section. The problem section states the existence of a problem. Something is bad, something is wrong. Okay, the policy paper, and I don't want to spend too much of the time talking about it here, but because you're going to see it in the video. But the policy paper, is where you present a solution to a problem. If you've ever said they ought to change the law, or there ought to be a law that does this, or people should change how they do something, right? Some change to law, regulation, some rules of some kind, right? If you ever say we need to change how we're doing something, this is what the policy paper is about. Now, the problem section, and I mentioned this earlier when I talked to some of you, because some of you, when you presented me with proposals for fact, definition, or causation, some of you actually did put in what you would call policies. how you're going to change something. So the problem section is the easiest section for most of my students because you've really already done this. This is basically an argument of fact. Establish the existence of a problem. Hey, there is a problem, whatever that problem may be. Okay? And so you're proving to your audience, your reader, that this problem exists. Now, there are sometimes problems that everybody knows are problems. When you do this, you're basically defining and describing what the problem is, so we all understand. So you have a problem, let's say, with immigration. Right? There's too much illegal immigration. Let's just say that, for example, that's what you're writing about. You would have to define what the problem is, how many people are coming across illegally, and most importantly, why indeed that is a problem. Sometimes people don't necessarily agree that there's a problem. So climate change would be an example of this. There are some people out there who think that there is no climate change or it cannot be proven. And so part of what would happen in your problems section here would be that you would be convincing the reader that indeed this problem does exist. The solution section is, of course, the biggest part of the essay in terms of being the most important. How are you going to solve the problem? What are the laws that need to be changed, or regulations or practices that need to be changed? Now, the key to the solution section is we're talking about specific, doable, concrete actions. I do not, repeat, I do not want any feel-good solutions. If you want to say people should spend more time with their children, that's a feel-good solution. It's impossible to do as a law. You can't make a law that requires parents to spend more time with their children. If you say people shouldn't spend so much time on their cell phones, again, where is the law? You can't create a law or regulation to do that. I don't want any solutions that create solutions that are impossible to enforce or to create. Okay? That's no good. That's what I call the feel goods, and I'm not going to take it. Right? That's going to be marked as a bad idea. The benefits section is where you show, and this is the part that most people overlook. This is where you show the good things that will happen. So you say, if we change the law in this way, blah, 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 here are the good things that will result. Okay. A lot of people think that it's automatic. Like, well, I showed you the solution, so there, boom, done. No, that's not logically complete. So please make sure you watch the sample policy essay video. Okay. Now, one other thing. The policy argument is an argument of change. You do not write a paper that says we should keep things the way they are. So, for example, do not write a paper that says we should keep the drinking age at 21. That is not a policy argument because you're not creating any sort of change. Okay. If you say we should lower the drinking age to 14 because junior high is very tough, then you have a policy argument. Now, all this is happening very quickly because we have only 2 weeks left in the semester. So the proposals are due this Friday, August the 6th by midnight. The proposal should be based on the instructions on page 302 of Everything's an Argument and should include an annotated bibliography with at least 5 sources. So again, you got like half of your sources out there. I cannot tell you how often I've had students come up with great ideas for a policy paper, but actually it wasn't doable because there simply wasn't the research out there. So you need to make sure that the research is there. Please make sure you follow the Tolman model of claim, reasons, and warrants. This does not change simply because we have a policy or proposal policy argument. Your claim is your thesis, the reasons are the support, and the warrants guarantee the support's connection to the thesis. Okay. Then also, some of you screwed up on the last one. You did not put the bullet points. Also, make sure you answer the bullet point questions as well. And then after that, you have your annotated bibliography. Now, because class ends, the semester ends next Friday, we have to bump up our due dates a little bit. You need to submit a rough draft by Tuesday, August the 10th at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so that's a day earlier than our normal turnaround. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I have my usual language here about out-of-class essay guidelines, yada, yada, yada. Then the peer edits need to be turned in by the end of the day, Thursday, August the 12th. So again, you still have 2 days to read the essays. As always, remember, I'm going to create peer groups. You read the essays in your peer group and do peer edits for those people. They will do the same for you. Then you go back and look and see what they wrote to you so that you have more feedback. Then revise and polish the essay and turn in the final draft, close of day, August 13th, 11:59 p.m. That is the last day of the semester. So please remember, no late essays will be accepted. The course will be closed. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. So our minimum requirements are at least 2,000 words. Trust me, if you're doing this paper properly, you will be way beyond 2,000 words. Okay, I'm not looking for 3,000 or 4,000 words, obviously, and especially in the summer session, that's probably not very realistic. But I have had students turn in papers that were indeed that long. But it just needs to be at least 2,000 words. Make sure you have 10 sources, at least 8 of which originated in print. 4 sources are peer-reviewed, or what I call scholarly work. That would be dissertations, academic journal articles, university press books. An abstract, okay, the abstract should be about 100 to 200 words. It does count towards your essay. Problem, solution, benefits. MLA documentation, which is still kind of sketchy for some of you. One other last thing I want to mention is, again, I cannot emphasize enough, particularly on this assignment, looking at the sample. Okay, look at the sample proposal policy essay. Watch the video I created for it, because there's a lot going on in this paper that is different from what we did in the first 3 essays. And as always, if you have questions, please contact me. I look forward to this. Bye-bye.